Close your eyes and picture this. A film that swept the Oscars, grossed nearly $400 million, and turned a young Dev Patel into a global superstar. Now imagine its director, Danny Boyle, standing in front of the world, admitting he'd never make it again.
Why?
2 words: cultural appropriation. That's right, the man behind Slumdog Millionaire just dropped a bombshell that's tearing through Hollywood, Bollywood, and every corner of the internet. This isn't just a filmmaker reflecting, it's a cultural earthquake that's got everyone talking. Grab a seat, because we're diving deep into a controversy that's as gripping as the movie itself. Boyle's confession ignites a firestorm. On June 20th, 2025, Danny Boyle sat down with The Guardian and delivered a confession that left jaws on the floor. The British director, whose 2008 film Slumdog Millionaire became a cinematic juggernaut, said he wouldn't touch the project today. "We wouldn't be able to make that now. And that's how it should be," Boyle declared, his voice heavy with conviction. He went further, suggesting that only a young Indian filmmaker should tell a story so deeply rooted in India's soul. This wasn't just a casual remark. It was a seismic moment in the ongoing debate about who gets to tell whose stories in today's hyper-aware cultural landscape. Let's set the stage. Slumdog Millionaire, based on Vikas Swarup's novel Q&A, follows Jamal Malik, a young man from Mumbai's slums who defies the odds to win a game show, his answers tied to the hardships of his life. "We wouldn't be able to make that now," the 28 years later director said. And that's how it should be. It's time to reflect on all that. We have to look at the cultural baggage we carry and the mark that we've left on the world. The film was a global sensation, earning 8 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, and grossing a staggering $377 million. It launched Dev Patel and Frida Pinto into the stratosphere and introduced A.R. Rahman's electrifying soundtrack to the world. But beneath the glitz, controversy simmered. Critics accused Boyle, a white British director, of exploiting India's poverty for Western audiences, dubbing the film poverty porn. Now, Boyle's admission has thrown gasoline on that fire, and the fallout is nothing short of explosive. Why does this matter? Because Slumdog Millionaire wasn't just a movie. It was a cultural touchstone that bridged Hollywood and Bollywood, sparking debates about representation, authenticity, and power dynamics in storytelling. Boyle's words signal a turning point. Even an Oscar-winning director is rethinking his place in the global narrative. But not everyone's cheering. Some see his stance as a bold act of accountability. Others call it a betrayal of artistic freedom. The battle lines are drawn, and the world is watching. The drama comes alive. Let's rewind to 2008. Slumdog Millionaire bursts onto screens, a kaleidoscope of Mumbai's vibrant chaos. The camera weaves through crowded slums, past street vendors and rickshaws, capturing Jamal's journey with raw intensity. A.R. Rahman's Jai Ho pulses through theaters, and that iconic train station dance scene becomes a global phenomenon. Audiences weep, cheer, and leave theaters buzzing. The film sweeps the Oscars, with Boyle clutching the Best Director statuette, beaming alongside his Indian co-director, Loveleen Tandon. But not everyone's celebrating. In India, protests erupt. Activists in Mumbai take to the streets, furious over the term slumdog and what they see as a glorified portrayal of poverty. "This is our reality, not your entertainment," one protester's sign reads. Critics like Indian author Salman Rushdie pile on, calling the film a false depiction of India that panders to Western stereotypes. Fast forward to 2025, and Boyle's confession has ripped the scab off those wounds. The media goes wild. Variety's headline screams, "Danny Boyle says he could not make Slumdog Millionaire today due to cultural appropriation concerns." The Hollywood Reporter digs deeper, quoting Boyle's insistence that the film was made with love and respect, but acknowledging the shifting tides of cultural sensitivity. On X, it's a war zone. User @ZSharf posts, Slumdog Millionaire director Danny Boyle says, "We wouldn't be able to make that now because of cultural appropriation concerns, and that's how it should be." The post racks up 12,000 likes and 3,000 retweets in hours. But the comments are a bloodbath. At Sandbagger DC Fumes, Boyle's caving to the woke mob. Slumdog was art, not appropriation. Meanwhile, at Jennifer Field counters, respect to Boyle for recognizing his privilege. More directors need this humility. Reddit's No Calmer, a thread titled, "Is Slumdog Millionaire Cultural Appropriation?" explodes with 5,000 upvotes. One user writes, "Boyle made millions off India's pain while Indian filmmakers beg for funding." Another defends him. He collaborated with Loveleen Tandon and cast Indian actors. What more do you want? Boyle's not backing down. "We shot it with authenticity," he told The Guardian, pointing to his work with Tandon and stars like Anil Kapoor. But critics argue that good intentions don't erase power imbalances. "A British director profiting from an Indian story will always raise questions," says film scholar Priya Sharma in a BBC op-ed. The debate's a powder keg, and Boyle's at the center of the blast. The bigger picture. Danny Boyle's no stranger to bold choices. From the gritty heroin haze of Trainspotting to the zombie apocalypse of 28 Days Later, he's built a career on diving into raw, unfiltered worlds. Slumdog Millionaire was his boldest gamble yet, a British filmmaker tackling a story steeped in India's cultural and social fabric. At the time, he was praised as a visionary, but the whispers of appropriation were there from the start. In 2009, protests outside Mumbai theaters accused Boyle of selling India's misery. Bollywood director Anurag Kashyap called it a love story dressed up in slums, sparking heated debates about authenticity. The cultural appropriation conversation has only grown louder since. Hollywood's been called out for films like The Last Samurai, where Tom Cruise plays a white savior in Japan, or Ghost in the Shell, with Scarlett Johansson in a Japanese role. Boyle's comments reflect a broader reckoning. Directors are grappling with their responsibility to amplify marginalized voices. "It's time to reflect on all that," Boyle said, hinting at a future where local storytellers take the helm. But not everyone agrees. On X, user @FilmFanatic99 asks, "If a story's told with respect, why does the director's identity matter? Art should be universal." The tension's electric, and Boyle's confession is the spark. Beyond Boyle, this saga raises questions about the global film industry. Indian cinema has exploded since 2008, with directors like S.S. Rajamouli, RRR, proving local talent can dominate the world stage. Yet funding for indie Indian filmmakers remains scarce, while Western directors often have easier access to resources. Boyle's call for a young Indian filmmaker to tell Jamal's story is noble, but is it enough? The debate's bigger than one movie. It's about who controls the narrative in a world where stories cross borders.